In the America I see, the permanent politician will finally retire. We'll have term limits for Congress. And mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old.
So there you had Nikki Haley, the opponent of Donald Trump for the Republican representation for the president run. And you might be asking yourself, why is it that CNN and the mainstream media is basically crucifying Don Lemon because he was talking smack to a Republican, which, by the way, they do that crap all the time, right? Well, don't be fooled, guys, because Nikki Haley is a woman that runs off of identity politics. She's also doesn't ever miss a moment to let everybody know that she has a vagina and that, women is the future, etc. And not only that, she is funded by Democratic lobbyists over there. So she's being hyped up by the mainstream media. Of course, she's the opponent of Donald Trump, and they're going to go into that anybody but Trump mentality moving forward for this next election. And they're going to do the same thing to Mike Pence when he puts his hat in the ring, etc., and everybody else to steal votes away from Donald Trump. Well, unfortunately, I guess Don Lemon didn't get that message or that text message. I guess he lost the letter was lost in the mail or something like that. He does his greatest Andrew Tate impression on CNN's morning show, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty freaking hilarious. So I don't know if he was sabotaging himself or he just was that stupid and he didn't know. I don't know what the deal was, but anyways, the most unprofessional political podcast on this side of the damn internet, Project VOPod. I'm your host, Jake Varr, and we're going to break down Don Lemon's fire-ass response, and you're not going to want to miss it. Like, subscribe, and let's get into it.
Talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Correct. Come on, Don. Don, what's the matter with you, bro? Did you forget who you're working for here? And here's the thing, man. We're talking about politics here, okay? Nikki Haley's there making a speech. She's talking about the old politicians over there in Washington that are like in their 70s, right? This includes like Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, etc., Bernie Sanders. You guys already know. So these guys are all old as mummies. They're all mummies over there. That's what she's saying. It's like they're old people. Of course, Nikki Haley's 51 years old. And she's not young like a Ron DeSantis or a AOC for that matter. But nevertheless, she's saying like, I'm in my prime. As a politician, Don Lemon is, I guess, referring to the sexual marketplace. I don't know if he's been watching Fresh or Fit or Rollo Tomasi or some shit like that, but he fucking actually says this crazy take on CNN. And so I don't know if he's been watching too many videos of that stuff. He's been hanging out on the other side of the internet over here, and it bled into this morning show over here with Don Lemon.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
Now he's just feeling like he's feeling like Homer Simpson over here. Like, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying, women hit the wall at 30. I'm sorry. But as you guys know, Don Lemon is a guy that's been spreading lies and crap all around for the last decade, more than decades or so. Back in the day, he actually used to be pretty base. He was normal, and then after Trump. After he kind of got it, or running for the election and stuff like that, that's when Don and the rest of the mainstream media basically sold their souls and went full retarded. But but I love how Don Lemon's actually like stating this stuff, and two of his hosts are women. He's the only guy there, and I'm like, what the heck's the matter with you, bro? Like, I don't know if he's going full throttle here. He's trying to be like Alex Jones.
I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first.
I don't know if Don Lemon's going to go and eat the globalist's ass like Alex Jones over here, but he's pulling something that he rarely does, where he starts telling the truth and it gets him in trouble.
Facts are, Google it, everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to
Google?
Google or whatever it is.
According to Google or whatever it is. Nice going, Don. Nice going, Don. Every once in a while, some truth slips on Don Lemon's mouth, and he's going to get in trouble, which, of course, he did. The very next day, Don Lemon was not anywhere to be seen on the CNN set. Apparently, his co-host says that he had the day off. Turns out he was over there in, Miami Beach, living it up here, right? Here's a picture of him on his day off after making sexist comments, doing his best Andrew Tate impression. And the weird thing is he has a really pointy nipple there. That's the weird thing. So what does Don Lemon do? Well, Don Lemon, all right, Mr. Lemonhead over here, of course, decides to apologize. I'm sorry. Don Lemon returns to CNN after online apology for sexist remarks. Yeah, whatever, right? So I appreciate the opportunity to be back on CNN this morning today. To my network, my colleagues, and our incredible audience, I am sorry.
We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. I'm deeply sorry. Sorry.
I've heard you. I'm learning from you, and I'm committed to doing better. See you soon. So Don Lemon just does a quick apology, and guess what? He's back on the air. He's gonna be back on there. Obviously, he had the primetime slot over there in CNN, could not beat out our boy Tucker Carlson, so they moved him to the morning, basically demoting him to the morning show with two idiotic women as well. And so that's what he's gone down to. And at first I was thinking, okay, Don Lemon has to be sabotaging himself. There's no way he even wants to work at CNN. Hopefully Don Lemon is coming to his senses and is saying, I am tired of selling my soul to the devil. I need to get out of here. I need to repent. I need to go and go into the woods and be isolated or some shit like that. Like, I don't know what. And I was thinking this guy's got to be sabotaging himself or some shit, right? Then he comes out with an apology and keeps his job. So maybe he was just dumb. Maybe he was just so dumb, didn't get the message that, Nikki Haley is on our side, man. What are you doing here? And then, again, he's watching too much Andrew Tate videos, so that shit slipped out. But funny thing to me is Don Lemon back in the day actually used to be pretty good, man. Pretty base, you know? Let me show you this video back when Don Lemon was actually shooting some fireballs at the black community. So he wasn't always this stupid, believe it or not.
By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may just be perpetuating the stereotype the masser intended, acting like a nigger? This little kid in a school uniform, no older than 7 years old, he was crying his eyes out as he walked down the sidewalk with his mother. I'm going to be honest here. She turned to him and she said, I'm sick of you. You act like an old-ass man. Stop all that crying, nigger. Is that taking the word back? Think about that. And number one, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should, especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African-American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers. And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues. So please, black folks, as I said, if this doesn't apply to you, I'm not talking to you. Pay attention to and think about what has been presented in recent history as acceptable behavior. Pay close attention to the hip-hop and rap culture that many of you embrace, a culture that glorifies everything I just mentioned, thug and reprehensible behavior, a culture that is making a lot of people rich, just not you, and it's not going to.
Don Lemon from 2013. I'm not even lying. 2013, Don Lemon was actually shooting out some fireballs, some yoga fires, if you will. And Totally ripping up. If Don Lemon were to say stuff like that nowadays, he would be probably in bigger trouble by saying, what are you guys in the black community using nigger for? Why are you saying the word nigger? Stop listening to this rap music. Stop listening to Rihanna on the Super Bowl. All this degeneracy, right? He'd be canceled in an instant, right? He's saying, stop having babies. You guys can't afford to do that. So this is the Don Lemon of 2013. And boy, have times changed since then. And the Don Lemon of now, it's hard to believe in just 10 short years, this guy has basically sold his soul to the devil and promoted all the propaganda of like the BLM, the Russia collusion, the beer bug virus, the vaccines, the January 6th stuff like that. And yeah, the list goes on. The list goes on. And unfortunately, Don, you know, fire take on what you said with those ladies right in front of their face. Like that takes some balls, especially for a guy that's on CNN. But man, you are like a damn cockroach, man. You are uncancelable at this point. Like if that's not going to get you canceled, I don't know what will. Like that got Andrew Tate thrown in Romanian jail, but you're still walking around like and keeping your job on CNN, man. Anyways, that's all I got for you today, man. Like, subscribe, comment down below all your thoughts. Don Lemon ahead keeps his job. But hey, it is what it is, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.